Hello, welcome. My name is Yana the Heretic, and this is my channel, The Unpopular Opinion Becoming Popular. And today marks the day of Gate 41, but not only that, it is our Human Design Rave New Year. So officially when Sun enters Gate 41 every year, that is the end of the human design cycle along the I Ching wheel. And there's a reason for that, and we'll get into it right now. Gate 41 is under the keepers of the wheel, Godhead. And we talked a little bit about that the last couple weeks. And the keepers of the wheel are the continuity of the world, the wheel that works the cycle that you're in and what keeps the world turning. There are hidden aspects to this universe, and there are hidden ninja-like warriors in this world that provide movement, and without them, nothing would turn. And I really wanted to focus in on this mystery because no matter what, we still go through seasonal changes. When things die and winter happens, we always know that spring will come after winter. It never just switches. It never really surprises. But what is the driving force that makes us feel so sure that spring is gonna come? What is that like magical entity that changes the leaves, pretty much on the dot every year? And that is the real depiction of the keepers of the wheel, because there's always a cycle turning and there are hidden forces, and we are all made up of matter, but our matter is so subtly different from, that of a chimpanzee or any other being. We are closest to the chimpanzee, but we are vastly different, even though our genetics are very closely related to them. And it gets even more and more unique. Because just because I'm a manifesting generator does not mean that you are gonna be the same. It means that there are hidden pockets of uniqueness and perfection in all of us. And none of us can be above or below another, because we are truly different depictions. None of us has ever existed on this plane like we are today, like we are now. And that is the beauty of human design, is to be able to discover and uncover these hidden mysteries within yourself so that you can build the awareness and that it solidifies within you. And every single new year, we tend to mark the things down that we've accomplished and then move forward. And Gate 41 is called the Gate of Contraction and Decrease. And the Gate of Contraction, so it sounds like a very strange word to use. Contraction is when things either shrink or muscles tighten. There is like a tendency to shrink something and to hold it very taut. So the decrease is the depiction of winter, so the decrease of fuel itself. This is all, again, root pressure. This is where the root is matching up with the solar plexus, which the solar plexus is our house of emotion. So the root, our fuel center, what we wish to do, is heading towards feeling to match Gate 30. And we do not have Gate 30 this transit, but it still gives us this initiating codon. This is the only genetic codon that we have from the I Ching, the masculine and feminine concoction that creates this like feeling of restlessness within us, this initiation to use our fuel towards something new, to fantasize what this new desire is going to look like for us in 2025, the wood snake year. So it's all about desire. It's all about being able to perceive what you've come across in the past and how that's going to fuel you for the future. But you also have to absolutely pause and empty yourself. I know I've talked about this the last couple weeks, but this is where it really gets valuable, because we have to recognize what we've achieved. We have to recognize what we felt at the end of this 2024 year. Because if you just drive yourself towards the wall and you want to achieve stimulation, doesn't mean that you're achieving more meaning, because you're not really taking pause to reflect on all of the things that your body has been through, all of the things that your mind has been through, your emotions. See, I'm an artist, and I think that it's so important to be able to sit and think about those things and how they've affected you throughout your year or month, to be able to take pause and to release into that calcination or dissolution or alchemical process as you go up those 7 steps. And you really have to learn to take this emptiness and not treat it poorly. You know, this emptiness allows us to understand what was our fuel in the past and what our fuel is going to be for the future. Physical fuel, spiritual fuel, emotional fuel, whatever it is, like what really puts these desires together and what really is going to provide the most lasting energy for you to be able to sustain this initiation, to be able to maintain your success and not fizzle out entirely before the end result comes to a head. So I have totally been guilty of that, just knowing, like, just in general, for example, like, you desire to know something, you want to have this experience, you want to gain knowledge and wisdom, and you tend to, like myself, use artificial like cans of energy to sustain yourself. I've definitely learned that I'm a caffeine whore, and it's just not consistent. It's not going to help me know deeper, because what happens is my energy is jittery and certain things fall out of my head. You know, I just don't naturally sit and allow myself to absorb things the same way. Similarly to this, the not self is a dwarfed personality trait. So if somebody didn't experience something at their early ages, or they weren't able to fully grasp their desire, they weren't able to fully act out their desire from the past, it creates this fantasizing rate that creates this obsession, and the obsession fuels very negative endings. Like, for example, you know, you have a person who's married and they don't find desire within their relationship. Well, the easiest thing to do is to find another person on the side that you feel passionate and fiery for. But once you enact this desire, it's not fulfilling. And then you have to do it over and over again with different people because it's not really what you want. What you really want is to find how to prolong this desire within your monogamous or polyamorous or whatever relationship. You want to maintain love for the people that are in your life, but you just don't have the patience to back it up. You don't have the true essence, the true source of this desire. So you tend to stimulate yourself with artificial things that do not last. So the pure opposite of that, the full pure self, when you're acting from strategy and authority, allows you to find ways to deepen your experience with the people that are in your life, to find other answers rather than to hurt people and break the bonds. So being able to speak truthfully and to be honest and to set boundaries and to make time for yourself, to polish, the schedule that truly fits all of these desires that you wish to sustain. You are empty right now in this winter, especially if you're in the Northwest. It's getting pretty fucking icy out here. Allow yourself to empty so that okay, well, what is the structure for these desires to actually be fulfilled and to provide me lasting satisfaction? What are the fears present? What are the downfalls? You can ponder these things. You can think and fantasize about how to truly create this future self for 2025. And the magic will happen. I mean, it will, allow yourself to fully grasp all of the stories that have created you, the experienced you, and all will be well. 41 feels really restless. We don't really know what to cling on to because we don't have gate 30 to really give us that specific source that we want to work towards. So we might try to reach for things all over the place, but take as many breaths as you need and try to just envision yourself still hibernating in winter. Allow yourself to regain traction slowly, just like when you're coming out of meditation or yoga and you sat in shavasana or whatever. You don't want to just get up and feel rushed. You just need to take your time to process the things that occurred for you in your spirit and your mental hemispheres. So it feels really good to be in 2025 and to be hitting these gates. It's always an oncoming energy. I feel it coming on instantly, just a new gate. And I hope that you guys are starting to pick that up yourselves in your day-to-day. We have some questions for the week. Which desires are the most valuable to initiate in 2025? Write down the first 3 that come to mind and revisit those later. I really like the practice of just jotting down the first things that come to mind because you can see really what you're feeling rather than what you're thinking. So it's like a gut instinct that occurs, and then you can revisit those and like see if that's actually the true soil that you want to play with. And that's totally able to change. Like, if you don't know, that's okay, it'll come, you know, there's always something to work towards. Do you feel comfortable with emptiness? Meaning, do you give yourself time to reevaluate and honor the winter season? So, like I said, on top of Gate 41, we do have the channel of transitoriness, which has been with us for a month or so. And the channel of transitoriness is the desire to seek new experiences as well as obtaining skills. So being the jack of all trades. And we want to obtain these skills on top of these experiences. So it's going to be a little bit harder to sit, but being able to sit with the emptiness in general, like, how do you do it? You know, are you good with it? You know, what's preventing you from being able to empty yourself? Other than other people, you know, or even if you have like a family and a hustle and all those things, why can't you find some time to yourself to feel empty? You know, can you give your family members or friends the right language? Be like, hey, I really would appreciate some time to myself, you know, and just allowing myself to sit and rejuvenate and to just feel. So, it's scary to feel empty and to not have constant stimulus, but there's only going to be more stimulation. There's only going to be more distraction, and distraction is the source of all evil, because if you're distracted from yourself, other things come in and warp your sense of reality and personal integrity as well. So absolutely take this time to empty. What stories can you share about the past year? What lessons or skills have you learned that could aid and inspire others to shift their perception? So, symbolic language, symbolic stories, especially The Woman That Run with Wolves. That is one of my favorite books, and a lot of people have read it and it's changed their lives, which I'm super happy to, you know, also like be in line with these folks, you know, and talk about it. But it's all about stories that completely shift your perception. And at first you read it and you like don't really know the symbolic language behind it, but once you understand that, it is a huge like way to depict some dense material. So even though it's a simple story, or it makes people feel joy, or, you know, gives you a sense of grief, you can always depict it in a more creative way for other people. And you can always share your skills. So perhaps something you learned 10 years ago isn't really sparking your fire anymore. It's not really like stoking you at all. But other people are just learning these systems. How can you train other people to do the things that you no longer want to do but are still of value to the universe? So definitely share your stories. Definitely make them digestible for other people to understand, because everybody learns different and everybody needs their own time to be rid themselves of the past. Write down what you've accomplished in 2024, because we tend to forget all that we've worked towards. No matter how subtle the shift is, write it down. If you had a vision board for 2024, circle all the things you actually accomplished and the ones that you did not. Are they still important to you? So I like to do vision boards every year. It's one of those experiences where you take like a collage of magazines or whatever you printed off and you make it work. And a lot of the time, intuitively, things will occur that you don't really plan for, which is really cool. It gives it that sense of mystery to see what that actually means at the end of the year. So absolutely honor, what you've accomplished. It's hard to remember all the things, so writing them down gives you like a bit of sustenance and joy and maybe some calm, because you don't really realize how many things you've overcame until you acknowledge them and just be like, actually, I'm not so bad. I'm not a like complete wreck of a person. Like, I had to learn some really vital things in 2024 that changed my whole trajectory. So definitely do that for yourself and enjoy this week and enjoy being able to paint a picture in your feelings and in your body of what would bring you the most satisfaction. And just even if you want to just tune in to what satisfaction feels like, some images may come and flutter in your head, and you might not even really realize what they mean or what value is in them, but things will come to you, because that's the beauty of an intuitive body. And I'm curious to hear what you guys all have in store this year. Any point in time that you want to share, I'm here to listen. So give me it all, give me like what you're looking forward to, what your plans are, what your desires are. Let me know if you don't fucking know what your desires are. Like, just share with me anything you got, really. I am here to do the human design analysis for anyone that is confused or lost, doesn't feel unique, doesn't feel whole within themselves. It is so important to have this knowledge, and don't miss out, yo. So have a great 2025 in this wood snake year. Slither it up.